Let's talk about the top sexy fragrances for James Bond. So, with the release of No Time to Die, it's a new film with Daniel Craig being James Bond, and James Bond is very suave, confident, regal at times, finds himself in different scenarios with different people, which really got me thinking about his wardrobe, which he's famous for, but also what scents would James Bond wear in these different scenarios. And if you're liking this content, please hit the subscribe button. That would help me a lot. Most of the time, Bond, regardless of the scenario that he's in, he's always sexy, suave, and confident. And the one caveat that I imposed on myself for making this list is that because Bond isn't just your average Joe, we wanted to find fragrances which would be unique and which would be quite classy, right? So these are fragrances that I would say if you want to stand out in a crowd, if you want to be unique, if you don't want to smell like everyone else, this is how I crafted this list. Most of the time you'll see that Bond is strutting out of the ocean and it's this real slow motion look. So what would Bond wear in that scenario that he's on the beach and he's meeting with people? What would he wear in that type of scenario? I thought to myself, a blue fragrance would be perfect in this scenario. However, Bond isn't going to be wearing just a normal blue fragrance. And I also know that James Bond is definitely an Aston Martin kind of guy, but I don't think he would fault me if we gave him a Ferrari fragrance. And that fragrance is Noble Fig. Noble Fig has fig, glary sage, and mandarin orange. It's not a shower gel fragrance. This is a fragrance where you have a dominant fig backed up with clary sage. It's very fresh, it's very refreshing, it's light, it's not something that would draw a lot of attraction to you, but if you're close enough, you can definitely smell this person, and you can definitely say that this is a very classy fig fragrance. What Bond is famous for is wearing a tux. However, in some scenarios, you'll see that he dresses it down a little bit. But even when he dresses it down, it's still very classy. One of my favorite wardrobes that they put Bond in is that of a leather jacket. And now that it's that very informal, it's a t-shirt plus a leather jacket on top. In this scenario, Bond would wear Gucci Guilty Absolute. Right? So this is, I love the bottle to begin with, but this is such an incredible fragrance in terms of the cedar. People get pencil shavings from this. It's a very woodsy fragrance. And it's perfect for the outdoor. It's perfect for the leather jacket. This isn't too elegant. It's not just too simple. It's not basic. It's a fragrance that would pair very well with a leather jacket. You could definitely wear you could definitely wear Bentley for Men Absolute. Sometimes you'll find that he's just chilling, he's in Monaco somewhere, he's just living his best life, and he'll have an outfit where he has a t-shirt and then he'll have a cardigan on top with some shades. So this is a really laid back, semi-casual look that Bond sports at times. I think a perfect fragrance for that would be Dunhill's Century. Dunhill Century, it's a stunner of a bottle. Important but not relevant. But this, you get a lot of cardamom and you get a lot of sandalwood. It's this very unique all around year fragrance. It's definitely a workhorse fragrance. I can see someone wearing this all day, all season, makes a perfect signature scent. The fragrance where it's British, Dunhill, but also, which ties into the theme of Bond, obviously, but also just the fact that this is a very unique fragrance. It's classy, it's upscale, you could dress it up, you could dress it down. Dunhill's Century. Bond is known for his tuxedos, obviously, in many movies, Casino Royale being one of them. He spends a lot of time wearing them. What would I wear? What would Bond wear? Now, keep in mind that Bond is still a super spy, right? International espionage is his game. So what would Bond wear? Now really, you don't want something super strong, right? And I debated between Dior Homme Parfum and this fragrance because I wanted something which was obviously classy. This is someone who draws people towards him, but also not someone who draws attention to himself, right? So most scenarios, this guy, he's keeping a low profile, he's doing his business, he's doing whatever he needs to do. What fragrance would Bond wear while he's wearing a tuxedo, which still gives such a unique scent, but also just a fragrance which is very classy, upscale, but is not overpowering? I went with Christian Dior's Bois d'Argent. Okay, so this is Christian Dior's Bois d'Argent. This is a fragrance which, honestly, whenever I wear it, I get the feeling that I'm walking on clouds. This has iris, but it's a very polite iris. This is an iris which is not offensive. It is a different iris from Dior Homme Intense. It's a different iris from Dior Homme Parfum. It's a different iris from that entire Dior line. This feels like an iris which is very classy, very upscale. And it does wear, I would say, closer to the skin, but also an incredible fragrance in terms of its scent, in terms of its profile. This is Bois d'Argent by Christian Dior. Bond, at times during his movies, they find a way to put him in some Arctic, Antarctic, extremely cold scenario, right? Like he's wearing the whole puffer coat thing. It's minus like 20, minus 25. But keep in mind, we're always keeping it classy and we're always keeping it unique, right? So what would I have Bond wear in that scenario? This is Fedon's Tabac Rouge. So this is your extreme cold scenario fragrance for Bond. This is a fragrance which has tobacco, cardamom, vanilla, a little bit of amber. I get all of those things put together. A lot of people draw similarities between this and Tobacco Vanille. I would say for myself that Tobacco Vanille is much more abrasive in the opening. This is much more polished and much more sophisticated on my skin than Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille, for me to really enjoy that fragrance, it takes a bit of time, 2 to 3 hours, whereas I enjoy this fragrance from its opening. This is Fedon's Tabac Rouge, and it is literally cuts through the cold, wears very nicely with a sweater, with a coat, with like sub-zero temperatures. This is an incredible fragrance, Fedon's Tabac Rouge. This is my favorite outfit, and this is why I kept it to last, and this is Bond in a pea coat, right? So this is for the city. This is when you're much more in a relaxed environment. He dresses this up with a tie sometimes, but he wears that pea coat on top, and I would have him wear Comme des Garçons Avignon. Okay, Comme des Garçons Avignon, like I said, this entire list does not have usually fragrances which people usually wear. I wanted it to be unique. This smells like incense. So if you're looking for a fragrance, very linear fragrance, I would say I only get incense from this fragrance from the beginning to the end. Performance is through the roof. You can wear it sprayed in the morning and you will smell it in the evening, if not at night. Cuts through the cold, perfect for fall, winter seasons. This would pair perfectly with a pea coat, right? So because usually the opening, you have the collar which is open on a pea coat, people can still smell you. It's not like the puffer jacket where you're all bundled up. This is a great fragrance for the fall, for the winter. This is definitely a cornerstone fragrance of incense for me in my books, and like the holy grail of incenses. For me, this is Avignon right here. If you've liked this content, please subscribe, like, that would mean a lot. This would help this channel grow. Let me know in the comments below what you think would be a unique fragrance for Bond to wear in which scenario? Which scenario do you see him in? Maybe you've seen the movie No Time to Die. Put it in the comments below. Let me know what fragrance you see Bond wearing. Why would he be wearing this fragrance? Is this a unique fragrance? Is this a common fragrance? I want to hear all about it. And I will catch you on the next one.